The author explains that circle symbolism points to the sacred honoring of the womb in early human history. Archaeological evidence from around the world supports this. In 2001, the Womb Cave was discovered near the village of Nenkovo in Bulgaria. Archaeologists determined that the cave was initially only 16 meters deep, but humans continued to carve out the space to create a 22-meter deep passageway. The cave was specifically carved in order to resemble the womb and even includes small water flows that wash the sides of its walls. At the far end, an altar was carved in the shape of a uterus, and each day at noon, light enters the cave from a carefully positioned crack in the ceiling. Some researchers believe that the cave was used as a fertility temple by the people of Thrace, sometime in the 11th century BC. Mounds or mountains can also function as symbols of the feminine womb space. Indeed, Mount Everest's Tibetan name is translated as Holy Mother Mountain. Megalithic peoples would often build temples on top of mounds. Newgrange in Ireland is one example of a mound site that dates from around 3500 BC. Originally classified as only a tomb, this mound is now recognized as a ceremonial site with spiritual and astrological importance. On the winter solstice, sunlight illuminates and penetrates the opening of the mound and enters its inner rooms for 17 minutes. Light entering into the mound's dark inner rooms may signify fertilization and the victory of life over death. Later, the Egyptian pyramids would also follow a similar mound tradition. The pyramid was not just a tomb, it was a place a deceased king would go in order to be rebirthed and ascend to the heavens. The pregnant mounds had the power to rebirth and resurrect the dead. The feminine shape of a spiral or of the circles within circles are also reflected in the archaeological evidence. The first Paleolithic temple spaces had spiraling passageways that led deep into the earth. The physical journey of going downward and inward also reflected the spiritual one. In Paleolithic societies, the concept of heaven was not external to the individual, but rather it was held within. Only through a descent down and in could one achieve ascension. One example of the spiral symbolism in the archaeological evidence is a hypogeum, an underground structure carved out from rock. Built around 3300 BC on the island of Malta, this underground network contains caves, burial grounds, and other rooms. Spiraling passageways connect the chambers. In one room, there are painted red spirals on the walls. In the main chamber, figurines were found, one of them called the Sleeping Lady. This figurine depicts a very voluptuous woman on one side sleeping, which could indicate death or point to the period of gestation within the womb.